I was able to get appointments from $431 down to $31.57. All right, this is actually a screenshot of my campaign, and I'll actually go into it so you can see it. In today's video, we're going to talk about how to turn $30 to $50 a day into booked appointments using the 253 method. So this is just one of the many methods that you can use to launch and scale your ads. I know everyone on the internet acts like their method is the best. It's not. Everyone has their own different method, and sometimes you don't even need to do any of this. But this is just a good framework to get you started, to get you the best opportunity, in my opinion, to have good results. So what is the 253 method? So it just means whenever you're launching campaigns, and I'll actually go into the ad manager shortly, you want to have two different ad sets. So when I have two different ad sets, typically one will be just general targeting, where I let Facebook do like advantage audience placements. And then the other one will be where maybe I use a custom audience of some sort. I might have a list of people that have bought from me in the past, but something that's going to narrow down the audience, right? So that's where I have my two different ad sets, but you can choose how you want to set that up. Then the next step is you want to make sure you have a lot of creatives. So I like to at least have 5 different creatives. So that means 5 different visuals. So that way the algorithm has a good chance to figure out which one works best for this specific offer. And then the 3 just stands for how long to let it ride before you make changes. We get very, very impulsive when we're spending money on ads because we feel like we're spending money and we forget that we're investing in our growth. So let it run for 3 days. Don't do anything unless you see something really, really bad is happening. All right. So that is pretty much the basic premise of this type of campaign. So this is something that I recently did for myself, and I was able to get appointments from $431 down to $31.57. All right, this is actually a screenshot of my campaign, and I'll actually go into it so you can see it. So as you can see, when we first got started, I got tons of leads, 26 leads, right? Killing it, $16 a lead, but I was paying $400 an appointment. That's not fun. And then you see it over here, 14 leads, $28 a lead. Then we were able to start to bring it down a little bit, where I was getting $14 per lead. I was targeting a little bit better. I got 90 leads, and I was still paying $86 an appointment, which I can afford because my offer is quite pricey. However, now this is where I'm at, the lead cost is pretty much the same because I'm pretty much running the same type of ads, but the place that I'm running the ads to, instead of a lead form, which was what I was doing here, I'm actually running them to a landing page that gives them a lot more information, that has more testimonials and case studies, and I was able to drop the cost of my appointment down to $30. That is super cheap, y'all. So the annual value of a customer for me is like between $10,000 to $14,000, and I'm booking appointments for $30. As you can see, I've kind of cracked code on this type of stuff. So what a time to be alive, all right? So this just shows you the importance of knowing what you're tracking, so that way you can make data-driven decisions. Once you get to that part, like where I'm at right now, all you have to do is scale. I don't ever recommend just like doubling your budget or making your budget like increase by a lot. What you can do is maybe increase it by 30%, but don't ever change your budget more than 3 times because it's going to break the learning process. So what you can do instead is you could just duplicate the ad set and then go from there. So let's actually hop into the ad campaign. All right, so let's hop into the ad manager. Let's look at my recent campaign that I was just talking about. And we can kind of see how we set everything up. All right, so this is the current landing page that I'm working with. So the campaign is called landing page. And then inside of it, I have 3 different ad sets, all at a different budget, $20 a day. As you can see, some are doing better than others. And I can even see the cost per lead and the cost per result. And then you can always have like your own type of way to organize your data. So I have mine called Blade Tracking Default. So I can see the cost per application depending on my different ad sets. And this is why you want to have different ad sets, because you never know what's going to happen. So broad targeting for me is, if you come in here, is I didn't really add anything in here. All I'm doing is letting the algorithm figure out who's the best person for me. And then when it comes to this other one, as you can see, I have detailed targeting. I put in a bunch of different medical professionals. And then another one, I have a lookalike audience, right? So because I have them separated differently, I can see, okay, the lookalike audience is getting me the cheapest appointments, right? This is good information to know. right? The lead cost is super low, and if you look at the ratio, it's about 50% of the people that come in are becoming appointments, and then this one's even higher, the 75%, and this one doesn't make any sense. I don't know. I have more applications than leads. That's interesting. But what could have possibly happened is they clicked on the link inside the ad, so they didn't have to actually go inside of it. So either way, that's why you want to track this data, but all the data looks good. Like I'm booking appointments for less than $50, so I don't really care. I'm just going to let that ride. Now, inside of each ad, there's a couple different ways to set this up. So you'll see there's 3 different ads inside of here. So sometimes I say up to 5, but I've been running this campaign for so long, so I know which ads are doing the best. So I start off with 9, and then I narrowed it down to 3. And this is what it's called dynamic ads. So like if you come here and you click on dynamic creative, what it'll allow you to do is put a bunch of different ads in the same, inside of the same ad, but what it's actually doing is like rotating them within the campaign. So it's trying to figure out which one's the best one. But if I didn't have the dynamic thing set, then what it would allow me to do is I would essentially look like this. All right, so this is like another campaign I have, and as you can see in this campaign, this is the ad set level. If I come here, I have like ad 1, ad 3, ad 4, ad 5. So I broke it up into having separate ads. So it's like I have 5 different ads versus the other one. It allows me to create a dynamic creative. So within one ad, it has 5 different ads, which is, I know it's kind of confusing. You can do either one. It's probably easier just to do it the dynamic creative way at the beginning, because you have to kind of just keep duplicating all this stuff if you do it this way. So I would just say start off with the dynamic creative, let Facebook or the algorithm figure it out, and you're good to go. All right, so that is pretty much how you get it going. So in the next video, I'll actually show you how to launch one of these things from scratch. But I just wanted to show you how I scale, how I look at things, because understanding this part before you even get started is so important, so you kind of see what you're working towards.